For thousands of years, humans universally prepared food using a single, unchanging method, creating a hot environment and letting that heat slowly work its way into the meal from the outside in. Whether it was an open fire or a cast iron stove, the physical mechanics of conduction and convection remained exactly the same. You burn fuel to heat a surface, transferring that energy directly to the outside of a pot or pan. By 1945, the cutting edge of human engineering had moved away from domestic cooking appliances. The most advanced technological developments were happening in military defense labs. At the Raytheon Company, a U.S. engineer named Percy Spencer was working on high-powered military radar systems. His equipment was massive, built specifically to bounce signals off distant enemy targets. He was focused entirely on improving national defense. Yet an accident in his laboratory was about to replace thousands of years of reliance on external fire with internal molecular friction. During a standard workday, Spencer was standing near an active magnetron, the core component responsible for generating highly concentrated radar waves. When he reached into his pocket for a snack, he discovered that a candy bar he had tucked away was completely melted into a warm, gooey mess. This event presented a physical paradox. Spencer had not been near a stove, there was no open flame, and the ambient temperature of the room was perfectly normal, yet a localized thermal reaction had occurred. Confronted with a vacuum of understanding, Spencer stopped his normal duties. The unexplainable melting turned him from a passive worker into an active scientific investigator. The radar equipment was emitting microwaves. These are invisible, high-frequency electromagnetic waves. Crucially, these waves are not actually hot themselves. They carry energy but contain zero physical heat. When these waves hit dry materials like glass, fabric, or the air in a room, they pass right through without interacting. But when they encounter water, fat, or sugar molecules inside food, the energy locks on. The waves force these specific molecules to reverse their polarity millions of times a second. They begin to spin and vibrate in place at extreme speeds. All that chaotic movement creates internal physical friction. Instead of absorbing warmth from the environment, the friction generates heat directly from the inside out. Spencer realized his ruined snack was a scientific breakthrough. The magnetron had bypassed millennia of external thermal conduction by manipulating the food's molecules directly. Refusing to dismiss the anomaly as a fluke, Spencer set out to deliberately test his new hypothesis. For his first intentional experiment, he placed raw popcorn kernels directly in the path of the active radar waves. Within moments, the internal moisture heated up and the kernels exploded. To push the physics further, he escalated the testing. He exposed a completely intact raw egg to the same concentrated electromagnetic field. The rapid internal friction generated steam pressure inside the egg far faster than the outer shell could contain it, causing it to violently detonate. These two tests proved his theory perfectly. Invisible military defense waves could be controlled and repurposed to cook food in a fraction of the time required by traditional ovens. The immediate engineering hurdle was safety. Blasting raw electromagnetic waves openly across a laboratory wasn't a viable method for cooking. Spencer solved this by constructing a crude enclosed metal box. By feeding the microwave power directly into this confined space, he trapped and intensified the electromagnetic field safely inside. The Raytheon Company saw the potential to pivot from military defense to the commercial kitchen, and in 1946, they filed a formal patent. By 1947, the first commercial model went on sale. Honoring its military origins, they named it the Radar Range. It was massive, weighed hundreds of pounds, and carried a $5,000 price tag. The technology worked, but the immense size and cost meant it was initially a commercial novelty, completely out of reach for the average home. It took years of persistent technological refinement to shrink the heavy military magnetron down to a consumer-friendly size. Gradually, teams of engineers refined and scaled down the components, moving from bulky industrial machines to lightweight, affordable consumer appliances. Eventually, the countertop microwave arrived, quickly becoming a standard feature in nearly every modern home kitchen. Today, the user experience involves pushing a single button. But behind that glass door, the exact same molecular physics Spencer discovered are still at work. Because an engineer paused to investigate a ruined pocket snack, kitchen convenience was democratized, ending the absolute reliance on fire to